Hey guys, what's up? It's me, JRPG Bro here. We're playing more Persona 5 Royal here on the PlayStation 5. It's a PlayStation 4 game, but the cool thing is finally we have backwards compatibility with the PlayStation consoles, so we can play PlayStation 4 titles on the PS5. A really cool thing, to say the least.
Yeah.
So, where we left off last time, we kind of started finding out that Madarame has a palace inside himself, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's not really cool for Madarame, but it's pretty cool that, you know, we found one pretty quickly. Considering it's been less than an actual month since we, you know, had the complete Kamoshida's palace, by the way, in case you all are wondering, it's been about 17 days or so. I think it was like May 1st or May 2nd, since the deadline for our expulsion. On top of that, we found out some information about Madarame, that he's plagiarizing from his pupils, and so on and so forth, and he currently has one remaining pupil left in Yuskue Kitagawa. Kind of on the, you know, the ins and outs with Yuskue, he's made a deal with us, sort of, kind of. An has to pose nude for his, you know, his painting, and he won't call the cops on Ryuji and I. Sounds like a pretty good deal, right? I mean, it's not really a good deal. You know, because poor An, she's going to have to model nude. I don't think she wants to do that. I call it a hunch. I really don't think that's something An wants to do, and that's fine. I get it. So, obviously, we have a plan. You know, we're going to try to...
Let me explain.
We're going to try to get Yusuke to drop the goods. I wonder what An has in store, but, you know, who knows. I think at this point in time, though, we do have some free time to really be able to... you know, run around and kind of do other things. We don't have to do the thing with Yusuke right away. I don't know, but we're probably going to be better off doing it right away so we can proceed with our palace infiltration. I think getting through as much of the palace as possible is best case scenario. This is going to be one of the longer palaces in the sense the amount of time that it takes, so it's not really a long palace. There's just a lot of story exposition tied to the palace, and you will see why. So there we go. The game literally cuts past school, and we're actually going to go meet in the Shibuya passageway here. We're going to meet with someone that Mishima wants us to meet with. So let's check out what's going on with that.
Yo!
We're about to head to the hideout, too. Who's that?
Excuse me.
That's Nakanohara. Mishima told us to meet him here in Shibuya today.
For real?
My name is Nakanohara. Natsuhiko Nakanohara, the one who was posted about on the Phantom Aficionado website.
He seems pretty nice. Doesn't seem like the stalker type. I think the change of heart must have worked.
The administrator of that website contacted me. They told me to look for someone in a Shujin uniform with a cat.
So, what do you want?
You may have already heard, but there's someone I wish to trigger a change of heart in. An artist by the name of Madarame.
You think this is it? Is the pupil gonna confess his master's secrets?
His shadow did mention Madarame as well.
I'm one of Madarame's former pupils. He gave me lodging at his home, where I thought only about art. I genuinely wanted to be an artist. There was another pupil as well, a very talented man, multiple years my senior. Obviously, Madarame kept tabs on him. Everything he made was claimed as a Madarame original. He wasn't the only victim, though.
Right, we got some real proof of the plagiarism.
In response to Madarame's actions, that senior pupil committed suicide.
Suicide?
He must have been unable to bear seeing his work praised under Madarame's name. That was when I disobeyed Madarame's orders and left. But he quickly pressured other parts of the art world, and my life as a painter was destroyed. I tried to turn over a new leaf, working at a ward office, but it was no use. My attachment to art warped my emotions. Soon I began getting attached to everything. In the end, I even turned into a stalker. I'd like to ask again, please make Madarame have a change of heart. Not only for me, it's to save the life of another man as well. Even now, there's still one young man remaining under Madarame's tutelage. I think he's about your age.
That has to be Yuskue.
Not only is he a talented artist, he also owes Madarame for taking him in after his mother passed. He is the perfect target.
So Yusuke's got no choice but to listen.
I actually spoke to him a few times back when I was still living at Madarame's. I asked him if he found it painful to stay with Madarame. And you know what he said? If I could leave, I would.
Kitagawa-kun.
I have no right to say this given my prior cowardice, but I don't want to see another suicide. I'd like to find a way to save this young man. He has a bright future ahead of him. Please consider that when thinking about changing Madarame's heart.
We've been asked to act directly on behalf of one of Madarame's victims. It sounds like we don't have the time to deliberate whether or not to change Madarame's heart.
Hell yeah! Madarame's just a piece of shit who preys on the weak.
Suicide. I'll never let something like that happen. Plus, we finally got to hear how Kitagawa-kun really feels.
Well, since we've reached a unanimous decision, how about we continue this at our new hideout? My fellow thieves, welcome to our new hideout. Our target this time is Madarame. We all saw that palace. We'll pay dearly if we assume it's just going to be like the last one. And furthermore, Lady Ann's chastity is on the line.
What?
We'll need to do what we did with Kamoshida. First, we secure an infiltration route in the palace. After that, we send our calling card. Once the treasure has materialized, we steal it.
Oh, I got a question. Madarame doesn't know that we were doing stuff in the palace yet? Why are we already getting treated like criminals in there?
You're learning, Ryuji. Well done. It must be because he doesn't trust anyone. Any unknown person may as well be an enemy.
Or maybe he's just super salty from all those rumors that have been spreading about him.
Then his palace being so crazy had nothing to do with us?
Either way, we should stay on our best behavior. It'll be harder for us to steal the treasure if we needlessly increase the security level.
We need to be careful of Kitagawa-kun this time, too. I'm sure that whatever he sees will just get passed on to Madarame.
That's right.
Hey, what is Madarame's treasure going to look like anyway? Another crown?
I doubt that. But my sixth sense will know when I see it.
Oh yeah, you go completely nuts, huh?
Our time limit is when the exhibit ends, right? That means June 5th.
We'll carry out the plan after we've sent out the calling card. So our infiltration route will need to be set in stone 2 days prior on June 2nd.
Now listen here. We can't mess this up, no matter what, okay?
Okay.
And there you go. We actually have a deadline now at 18 days to essentially steal Madarame's heart. Now, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you think about it, 2 or 3 days, I think 3 or 4 days, we're going to have to go to the palace. I'm like I said, I can't be 100% sure. I mean, they're mentioning special obstacles, so I feel like we're going to pop across one. So it would take at least 3 days to get to the treasure, 1 day to send the calling card, and then 1 day to the fight. So we're talking at least 5 days, which leaves us kind of 13 days to kind of mull around and, do other things. So the sooner we kind of get through the actual palace itself, probably the better. So we're going to, let's see here. Should we go into the palace today and get as far as we can? I mean, we don't have any requests from Mementos, so we really don't have to worry about going into Mementos. So really we can go into the palace today, or we can just, bounce.
Okay,
so we're actually going to go
let's
into
go.
the actual palace. We're going to try to get as far as we can inside the palace before, having to proceed further with the story. Because I don't think we can proceed any further in the story without actually completing, a portion of the palace.
Now then.
Come inside. We've much to discuss.
Excellent. I expect no less. Marvelous.
Then
cool little thing we just got there.
Do you need
Now our
something?
personas have traits. Those traits can be inherited when we make fusion for our personas right now.
You certainly seem composed.
So throughout the game, Igor's going to give us cool little things every once in a while that really kind of help us throughout the game. Having traits for our personas would really kind of give them, I don't want to say a special ability,
Justine, you handle this.
but like for
These are the
example,
paths you have walked.
let's see here. You see, we're going through all these personas here, making sure we have all the ones we need for all of the correct social links here. So
persona?
you see here, this persona has the trait of positive thought. Positive thoughts, so it's going to do something for us. Some of these personas actually have very specific, non-inheritable, traits. You saw Country Maker for Izanagi no Okami. That's something that they can't actually inherit at all. Country
A
Maker
fee is
really, I think,
required,
changes the
then accept
damage
this persona.
done by moves and stuff like that. So certain, traits are specific to those personas,
Are you finished?
as opposed to,
What?
being able to inherit other ones. So say like Glutton Mouth, which we saw, is one of those that we can have. So we're going to pop into our persona list here, make sure we have all the personas we need here. I think
Do
we
you
need,
need something?
no, we did a special battle. That's not what I wanted. We can actually carry one more
It is
persona, but like I said, I'm not
time,
worried about it right this second. We do need to make sure we have enough for all our confidants and all our, active confidants here.
Hey,
And of course, we're going to get yelled at. The other characters don't see the Velvet Room.
come on.
No one else sees the Velvet Room in our party, so they kind of think we're just standing there dazing off in this space, which I guess, I can kind of see. So we're going to kind of go about this infiltration. It's the same basic infiltration as last time. We can't go this way. Now, this time we actually have enemy shadows that we can fight, which is going to be great. So if we wanted to be level 15 by the end of the first dungeon, the first palace at the end of Kamoshida's arc, in reality we want to be around level 25 to 30 here. Now that we have access to mementos, grinding out as much in a palace isn't as necessary. It's still something I would recommend. You always want to be a little bit higher than your, the boss characters in the dungeon by the end of by the end of the palace. I do actually think, though, that the boss in this palace is like level 20. So you can actually Google search, boss levels for the game, but it gets really steep. Like I think the first, few are like 12 to 15, then 19 to 20, and then the next one's 23 to 30-ish, and then it kind of just goes up out of nowhere. The last few, you want to be higher level, so we want to make sure we're not under level. That's the key thing. Is I'd rather grind out early in the game and kind of have the earlier portion of the game really be a little bit easier, and then have that challenge at the end. No matter what, if you're level 99 near the end, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. It's not going to be as challenging, though. So this palace is adding something a little new here. You see the lasers here, kind of adding a little bit of an obstacle challenge. So for these lasers, it's pretty simple and straightforward, actually. If we look at it, you see how the bottom one actually is lit green, has that green light, and the top ones are the red. That essentially means that the bottom one's off. I'm just noticing this now, and this is my 6th time playing Persona 5 as a whole. And there's little things. It's crazy. We can play a game multiple times and still not really, fully pick up every little thing about the game. And I think that's part of the reason why I absolutely love this franchise as a whole, because it encourages you to play it again. Now, I think, Royal being the best one,
Incredible skull.
the definitive edition of 5, and as you can see, it just oozes style.
Okay.
Reeks of style.
Piece of cake.
It would have been really awesome for them to do, 4 and 3, the same, graphic style here.
But we're the better
That would have been pretty dope, but they're not going to, and I understand that, but it would still be pretty cool. I'd love to, play through 4 and 3 with this graphical style, because I think those games would be enhanced immensely if they look better. I mean, they're still playable as they are on the PlayStation 2, and for Golden, the Vita and the PC, they're still definitely very playable on the platforms they're on. And even if you bust it out now, it's just not the same. You go from playing this one to something else, to an older one, and it's a big step back. You know, I played Royal in 2020 twice, and then I played Golden a few times.
Show me your true form.
And it's funny because, you know, I went back and played those games. You know, I did Royal and then Golden, and like the fact of the matter is, it was a big difference. It felt different. I felt a little bit more chaotic trying to do Golden, because Golden, you know, I think Golden it requires more of a time management, and then you have to grind at the same point in Golden more so than in here, because you have the palace and then you can just go into Mementos any day you want in this one. They both offer different things, different aspects, different elements, but you know, Royal is still a superior game. Looking forward to seeing the Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne remake. I'm waiting to see a release date for that.
I can see it.
That's going to be an interesting one. That was actually one of the very first JRPGs I ever actually played.
I'll reveal your true form.
You know, the one that really got me into the genre as a whole. I never finished it. That's a confession there. But then, you know, I used that to get into Persona. You know, playing Persona 3, then 4, and then, you know, not really playing as many of these JRPGs. It's time-consuming. But the thing about JRPGs as a whole is that you can tell that you look at the games. These games don't have as many patches. There's not as many updates. I don't think this game was ever patched since its release. That goes to show you the level of, like, you know, hard work and dedication the developers put in this game. So I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not trying to talk trash on the games. But this game, you know, no updates, no bugs, no crashes, no glitches. It's just perfect the way it is.
Show me your true form.
So today, in the palace, there's a certain distance we can get to, if I vaguely recall. And like I said, this is not a very big palace. So, like, literally, we could probably, you know, the halfway point, not the halfway point, but the point we get to today, we could probably run back and forth from the front to back in maybe about 2-3 minutes. It's not really, like I said, it's not a major size palace. This is more of like a plot palace, I guess is what we can say.
Hey.
I don't know if that makes sense, saying it's more of a plot palace, because I mean, all the games, all the palaces are plots, you know, very plot oriented. It's just that this one, I feel like, has a very heavy plot, you know, point, I guess. I don't know. So we're heading into territory that we actually haven't been in yet, and it turns into a little bit more of a maze.
I can see it.
So we can go two ways here. The arrow, I didn't notice the arrow before, is pointing that way. So we're going to prove a point here. This door is actually locked. We can't go through there. So we're going to actually have to go the way the arrow pointed. Now, I don't know if many of the enemies are, when we, you know, see the enemies here, if we're using the third eye, if when we see them, if they're going to show up as being, I guess, what is it?
It's somewhere.
If they're going to be, you know how like the shadows showed their difficulty level? That was pretty cool, right?
This feeling.
I don't know if we're going to have red shadows here. I think we are, and they're going to give us the biggest experience point drops. So if we actually want to go out and grind after we reach the treasure, we want to kind of find those specific shadows and just grind them out. It'll take some time. Definitely take time to get to a level we want to get to. Since right now it looks like our whole party is around level 17 or so, it's not going to take as long as it did in Kamoshida's Palace. But, I mean, as you level up your experience points, you're going to require more experience points to get a higher level here.
This one's weak to curse attacks.
The likelihood of you having a persona that would actually be able to do like damage that triggers that persona, you know, that shadow's weakness, which would be the psychokinesis or darkness, is slim to none. I mean, yes, technically Arsene would be the one that you would use in this case, because he has that Iagon move. I probably mispronounced it, but he has that move that actually is a dark move. So we can actually literally sit here and ask this guy to keep doing better, and he'll keep dropping the items. And at a certain point, he's going to get pissed off at us. And I'm fine with that. If he gets pissed off at us, like this, he's actually going to jump back into battle. He's going to have low HP, but he's going to at least summon one more guy. And when he summons that guy, I mean, yeah, we take some damage here, but we have, we're gonna get additional experience points and additional money because we fought more enemies. So I'm throwing that out there. I don't recommend doing that if you're not high enough level or confident enough in your skills, because I don't want you guys like sitting there dying and having to start, you know, all over from your last save. I think that's the ultimate thing, is you want to save often. I know we actually haven't saved that much here. I save off screen. I save off screen. You don't want to see how many hours are going to be in this playthrough here when we're done versus, you know, how long we've actually played in the entire game. So we're going to keep asking this guy for money until, you know, he gets pissed off. And he just did. And like I said, this is a good way to get more enemies and kind of work towards getting more experience points and more money. So clearly she's weak to electricity. She kind of gave that away with that move. Doesn't matter, we'll one-shot kill her anyway. For a minute I thought he was weak to nuclear when he first showed up, and then now seeing that I was like, oh wait, no, he actually uses nuclear moves. Nuclear moves make a comeback in Persona 5 as opposed to not being in Persona 4. So keep that in mind. Nuclear moves are actually pretty cool. Weird for that to be an actual element in the game.
This guy. Watch out, Joker.
But you know how it is. So this is a higher level shadow, and the type of shadow we want to fight. Now this guy, yep, this is going to be actually a really tough one.
But its weakness is nuclear power.
So he's weak to nuclear. He's nullified against, you know, physical and you know, gun. I think he's also immune to darkness. I think it was. Or not, I don't know. Yeah, he blocks it. So we're kind of up, you know, shit's creek with that battle. So curse and bless, nope. Physical and, you know, gun, nope. So right now we're probably gonna get screwed here. I know our characters, this Persona's level 18, the Shadow's level 18. It's a decent level Shadow.
Its weakness is nuclear power.
I don't have nuclear. He's not immune to anything other than those. So we're actually just gonna. We do have a Persona with nuclear, right? I'm not a big fan of constantly switching Personas in battle. There is, I believe there's a trophy for it. The trophy would be for you to switch a Persona 3 times in battle, and I would recommend doing that in a boss fight if that's the case. I think that's the best case scenario, is doing it during a boss fight. So there we go, we targeted his weakness, and we get an all-out attack. This Persona is actually a high-level Persona, so we wouldn't be able to actually negotiate with him. And if we tried, it wouldn't go well. So you see 242 experience points, 1,300 yen. That's going to be the kind of shadow we want to fight a lot.
I leveled up.
You figure we need, what, 1,200 experience points per level?
All right.
We're talking about 7 times we're going to need to fight that shadow, at least. So if you fight him 7 times, you'll get a level. I know that doesn't sound like a lot. You can just leave this room and go back in and reload it. The enemies will respawn. I don't know if that's what you want to do, but I'd rather get a little bit further in the palace before we try to think about grinding out our experience points. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I really forget how Vanilla 5 was set up as opposed to Royal. I feel like I'm remembering Royal better than Vanilla 5. Vanilla 5 I haven't played since 2017 when the game came out. Throwing that one out there. And like I said, I'm trying not to use the super overpowered Persona that I have in my party right now. That's more of my when I want to grind. Raul was a DLC Persona that you can get, I believe, as part of the Legacy DLC pack. You actually have to pay for him in the vanilla Persona 5. So the Legacy DLC gives you a handful of Personas, and I believe it might give you some costumes. So pretty much it gives you all the DLC from Persona 5, like the original Persona 5 that you had to buy. That being said, a lot of people I saw on forums were like kind of pissed off that people were getting, the DLC for free when they paid for it in Vanilla 5, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, you know what? I don't have to pay for it this time, I'll take it. I'm not going to be angry because other people might not have played the vanilla version, or they might not have wanted to, sink 15-20 bucks into DLC Personas and costume, maybe a costume pack too. Because I know I downloaded, I purchased all the DLC Personas, which probably sent me back about $10-15 maybe. I forget. And then we purchased at least one costume pack, I think, maybe. I don't know. But The costumes in the game that you can change the characters from, they're not always the best. I'm not gonna lie. They're not always the best costumes in the world. Some of them work for some sets. Will work for like one or two of the characters in your party, and then like the rest won't. So you kind of have to find yourself having mismatched costumes, which is all well and good. There's nothing wrong with having mismatched costumes. I'm just throwing that out there. So it looks like we've actually made a slight dent in where we're going here. Kind of trying to remember exactly where we want to go.
It's somewhere.
I bet you. No, that's not a safe room. I remember where we are now. All right. So yeah, we can't open this door. I like how it has little clicks, you know, the font on the screen. But you know, here we go. Let's see what this thing is.
Hey, wait a second. You're just gonna ignore that golden sheen? Look at that luster. I know it might be tough to take with us, but don't you think it'd sell for tons?
Come on, we didn't come here to... Wait, hold on, you're stepping on something.
Isn't this bad?
Oh no, I tripped the security.
You were the one making us be careful, too. So, what do you want to do? Run out of here?
No, passing through all of these lasers will draw far too many enemies to our location.
Oh, hold on! Joker's not trapped!
Sorry, Joker, but we're going to need you to search for a way to turn off these infrared lasers. This is a museum, so there has to be some switch to let the workers avoid these lasers. Find it.
Go figure, Morgana would actually like literally trigger an alarm like that, and you know, kind of create this whole situation.
It's time, not this. Persona!
So right now we actually have to free all of our party members here individually by, you know, kind of triggering an alarm here. Not only triggering an alarm, but, you know, getting everything taken care of.
There!
So there we go. We took care of them, and we'll be able to free one of our party members here. I think we're freeing On first.
Okay, we're done. Hurry up and move on.
Somewhere.
That being said, this was a great place for us to call it a break today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'm that JRPG bro. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Next time, we're going to free Ryuji and Morgana, and we'll try to get as far as we can in the palace. And I'll see you then.